Hello, good evening, and welcome back. To stop racism, we need to rewrite our history books by Dawn Butler from the Metro, the Shadow Women and Equality Secretary and Labour Member of Parliament. Yes, Women and Equality Secretary. It's not the video. It's not the video. It might be the video, it's not the video. I never dreamed I would become the UK's first elected female African Caribbean government minister. Oh, I love it when you qualify that much. You can just, if you had 10 qualifiers, then you are the first. That's fine. It's kind of a misleading title, thank God. When they say we need to rewrite our history books, it's not quite accurate. She's saying don't misrepresent the black people of old and include more about the slavery of the history. So it's more reconfigure our history curriculums. So it's not as bad as it first seems. I don't know why they phrase it this way, but they have. So, many people may find it hard to believe when they look at Boris Johnson, who once famously said he wanted to be king of the world when he was a child, that not all politicians are the same. Right? But when you think about a privileged white man taking or getting what he wants, it doesn't seem that strange. History has taught us, whether consciously or not, this is what happens. How about actually fuck you? How about that? How about actually fuck you? Dr. Grant McCann, Mike, has pointed out very well and very clearly that when you have this thought, that means that for the white boys, just boys and especially white boys, you're going to try and make their life harder because you think they need more barriers so that women can come up and you can level the playing field by dragging men down. So what does that mean? You will drag most of boys down. You will drag most of men down. However, there will be some stubborn little critters that'll learn from a very young age that there are barriers, that life is difficult, and they will overcome these barriers. And then what do you think happens? This tiny percentage of men become the most successful people by far, because they've learned from a very young age how difficult it is. The most successful people have had troubled upbringings, by and large. That is the majority of the case. They have done so. They have overcome hardships, and that is what Joe Rogan says. As a parent, it's a difficult dilemma you have, because you know that the most interesting and most well-respected and just best people you know are the ones that went through hardship as a child. So then you've got to decide, as a parent, are you going to protect them and be there for them and care for them, or are you going to let them experience that hardship? Because that will make them a better person in the long run. But yeah, sure. So, would you like to explain to me then, if this is, that white men get this, and, patriarch and all that, and cis straight white man are the most privileged, and, reference Bernie Sanders saying white people don't know what it's like to be poor, and that a homeless white guy's got more privilege than a rich black girl, than Serena Williams or Oprah, then why are white men committing suicide more than any other ethnicity in the UK? Proportionally. Why is that? And suicide is the biggest killer for men under 45. Yeah, great. And men kill themselves between 2.5 and 4.5 times more than women, depending on the age group. Averages out in the UK to about just over 3 times as likely. And in America, about 4 times as likely. They're going to kill themselves, yeah. Why is that then, if white men get it all? Oh, because they don't. And you're talking shit, and you want to drag men down. Because what, you think that's the only way you're going to succeed? Something given isn't worth nearly as much as something earned. That's been known for a hell of a long time. So I never dreamed I would become the UK's first elected female African Caribbean government minister. Woof. My political journey is very different from the new Prime Minister's. My school days were filled with teachers telling me what I couldn't do and that I should lower my expectations. There was no inbuilt history lesson that reflected the strength and resilience of African Caribbean people like me. And yet you made it. We agree. Great. I love it. My early memories of political engagement, campaigning, resistance and resilience were taught to me via music and the smooth tones of my father, God rest his soul. As he sang songs from Jamaica and elsewhere, these political messages permeated through my psyche and have stayed with me ever since. They are, unfortunately, still relevant today. Only because you make them to be... In fact, you're saying racism and bigotry is sadly on the rise globally. In China, yeah, sure. Where the whiter the better, essentially, because otherwise it seems like they've been out working and it's like rednecks in America. It's the same sort of thing. It's derogatory. Or what in the Middle East, where the slave trade's still going and they have open air slave markets, but the reason they don't have a big black population like in the West is because they castrate them so they can't reproduce. So basically, they're saying that they cover their tracks and therefore they're not reprimanded because they do it worse. But because there isn't a track, because there isn't a big black population, then they're okay. No, I don't buy it at all. And we have seen the devastation brought about through the divisive rhetoric of nationalism. What devastation? People referencing what the far left rhetoric is that what we're getting at? Or socialist nationalism? Yeah, sure. Oh, it's still far left. Oh shit! Hang on. Nationalism. That's bad. Because by fixing your own place before trying to put a message out into the world, you're you're making sure that you know what you're talking about. Damn, this doesn't work. Hang on. By doing things that you can under your control to improve the situation around you for yourself and others, you're I can't think of the bad thing. You're I get it. Got it. You're not allowing other people in who don't want to contribute. Nailed it. Right. What's the problem? Hang on. Are you saying that the black and brown people aren't contributing? Because that's what it sounds like. Curious. Again, who's the racist? We also now have a Prime Minister who has used well-known tropes against black people. This is now a matter of urgency. So what is the solution? Let it all blow over because it isn't true. How about that? The solution lies with our kids and more specifically their history lessons. Right, so this is how it gets on with. This starts with school and teaching kids about black history and UK colonialism. Yes, and also we ended it starting from 1066. Yeah, basically 1,000 years ago, because the UK started it. Yep, started the abolition of slavery. Yep. Yeah, that's the UK, 1,000 years ago. What are you going to do? The Labour Party's pledge to introduce an Emancipation Educational Trust is vital and is an investment that is long overdue. The Emancipational Educational Trust will address the historic injustice of the slave trade. It will aim to provide school programs and visits for young people to ensure it's never forgotten. No, indeed, and indentured servitude also the case. Well, did you also want to mention the Irish who went over to America? You know, there's all the Italians then, seeing as Fuedo seems to be a racist term for Italians. Is that what you want to mention? Yeah? How intersectional are you going to get? Or is it just going to be black people? Again, are you going to get out your Dulux paint range and say, anybody darker than this is the victim and therefore can be given stuff, and anybody lighter can't be? It's almost as if that you're saying it's good to be a victim. It's almost as if you're going to get people saying that they're black when they're not. It's almost as if someone like Rachel Dolezal will appear. Oh, they did. Or Sean King. Oh, it did. Or somebody saying they're Native American when they're not. Like Elizabeth. Oh, they did. Oh, damn. It's almost as if it's better to be one of these so-called oppressed classes, isn't it? It's almost people are trying to get rid of their so-called privilege in order to get these victimhood points, and that gives them a better, easier life. Funny that. Again, it's one of those things when you have, like, communist countries. It's like, okay, so are people from the communist country getting to the capitalist country, or the capitalist country getting to the communist country? Oh, it's people fleeing communism to get to capitalist countries. I wonder which one has it better. How about that, then? Yeah. And what about the protests at the moment? You got America for the detention facilities and wanting stronger immigration, and then you get in Hong Kong. So we've got... in America, they're saying, you're fascist because you're not letting people into the country. And then in Hong Kong, they're saying, they're not good because they don't want to have to stay in a country. Hong Kong are fighting to be able to leave, and Americans Mexicans, some Americans then, for the mainly Mexicans and Hispanics, are campaigning for a right to enter. Very different. Very different. Surely you can say who can come in, but you can't say who can leave. Isn't that the idea? That, you're saying, I don't want you in my house anymore. Get out. But you can say, yeah, you're staying in my house now, you can't stay. Or more apt then, not I don't want you in my house anymore, but it'll be I don't want you in your house in the first place, like a vampire. I'm not going to invite you in. You're not happy. No, you're staying out. This is why we have walls. And that's what Peterson says, that's the difference. That Conservatives like walls, they like boundaries, they like borders. Just more of them than liberals do. I use that in the loosest sense of the word. Left-leaning then, if you will. Socialist, communist. Seeing as, was it Lenin who said that socialism is just a stepping stone to communism? Yeah, because communist utopia can never be reached. Because it's never going to be communal. So it's all going to be socialism. That's why true communism has never happened. It's always been tried, but it's never happened. And it never works. But let's read on where they mention Glasgow, for example. Oh no, okay, before that then. We say that the Fabian Society and the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, are campaigning for a slavery museum in London to help with the teaching of the UK's colonial past. I'm not keen on the name, but the concept is to be encouraged. Yeah, and let's see how many how many are going to be race-based and how many are maybe going to be class-based instead. Because it's class that is the issue, not race. Okay? Cool. Glad we could clear that up for you. And it used to be, say, Conservatives were a class party, but now they're saying they're a racist party instead. So, well, then you're alienating the average voter, aren't you? Alienating the moderates. That's just how it's going to be. Go against the Conservatives, say you're a class party. Say you're only for the rich. Say you're for the lobbying. Say you want to give exclusive rights. Say you want bigger tax codes so that you can put exclusions in for your friends. That's why the rich love big taxes. For that reason. Because they know they're going to get exclusions, and the other people aren't. And that's why they want a load of red tape so that nobody else can do anything. Yeah, sure. Go at them for that, but not for racism when there isn't any. Right, and I was so pleased to read this month that Glasgow University is to pay £20 million in reparations after their link to the slave trade was revealed. Yes, apparently in the 18th and 19th century, they received something between £16.7 and £199 million from people who owned at least part of their money from the slave trade. Yeah, how tenuous can you get? How tenuous can you get? And in case you're wondering, it's cheaper to run a sweatshop than it is slavery. Because in slavery, you actually got to care for the person the entire time. And if they die, then you've got to get another one. And then it's more difficult to then get them and all that. Whereas it's much easier to just have a sweatshop. Someone comes in if they want, and they leave if they go. And people want to be in the sweatshops because it's better. It's the best option they have in that country, and then that's how they develop out of it, as has happened in England with the workhouses, for example. Yeah, it's not good from our point of view, but it's good from their point of view. They're earning about 6 times as much if they weren't there. Yeah, so of course they're fine with it. That's why they're smiling when they're there. And they again look down to the people who are out working in the field. That's the same the world over. In America, you've got the rednecks, and in China, the other side of the world, then you've got not liking black people because again they're out working in the field and they get tanned. Yeah, but what's Glasgow University actually setting up to pay for 20 million? It's just again looking into the history of it and who's associated with who. Essentially, that's it. With the West Indies. There you go. That's what they mean by reparations. It's just investment into research. These proposals come at a time when racism is increasing. Yeah, against whites, anti-whites. Is that what we're getting at? Yeah, cool. Amid fears the polarised Brexit debate. Yep, who's polarising it? Who's calling the other side Nazis and fascists? The nationalist rhetoric. Again, not seeing a problem with it. Explain to me how that's wrong. Trump as US president. Yeah, cool. He's doing amazingly for the economy. He's doing great for the black community. He's doing amazingly for anybody who wants to help themselves. And Boris Johnson as Prime Minister has legitimised abuse in some people's eyes. Yes, again, the left. The people who just want to call you names and then say that speech is violence in order to then get in a legitimate first physical strike and say that, hey, the other person started it. Yeah, fuck off. You're evil. Londoners from Africa and whatever continue to face racial discrimination every single day. Yeah, all the colours of the rainbow. Except white. It's funny, because if you combine all those different ones together, you get white. Okay, yeah. I'm not going down that road. No, I disavow my own comment. I disavow white supremacy. I do not think whites are superior on the character of their race or whatever. No, don't like white supremacy. Disagree with it. Disavow. Cool. Instead of accepting the legitimising of oppression and discrimination, we must remember not to repeat the mistakes of the past and dispel the myths of century-old tropes about racial inferiority. Yeah, cool. I mean, we go with IQ, and if you want, go with academic agents' reasoning instead of Stefan Molyneux to say, well, it's actually the political structure that is in these countries that is leading to a degradation of IQ. It is that they are dictatorships, they are corrupt, they are tyrannical, they are socialistic, communistic, and all that. And that is what leads to a decrease in IQ, and then they don't get the nutrition they need, and so they can't grow properly. Cool, go for it. That doesn't quite explain then why the cultural differences remain even when they're integrated into a society and do move there and create a presence. Whether that be Ashkenazi Jews, Sub-Saharan Africans, Middle Easterners, Orientals in Far East Asians, whatever you want to call that. Yeah, that they still continue that. So you let me know, because apparently advertising things on chicken boxes isn't acceptable. But I'm intrigued to know what you guys have to say, so please do comment below. Let me know what you guys think. If you think that we do need to include more information on the slave trade in history, in which case, what part should we get rid of out of our curriculum, because you've got to free out time somehow. And I agree that the education system needs to be more functional, but is this really what you want to put into it? Considering already in places like California, then you've got basically indoctrination to teach people the error of their ways and original sin, but now it's not biblical, but it's just for being white. So let me know. Intrigued to know what you guys have to say, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.